Hey guys, how you doing? Okay, we're doing Fabiano as Black and Sam Shanklin as White. The interesting thing about this position is Fabi got into a Queen's Gambit accepted the classic line. He also the same one that he played with um, the last time that he basically lost. I'll say that he got into the similar position and was able to draw. So let's see how that is. It's kind of why I picked this game out. Was because of that kind of setup. And we have to root on Fabi, and you know what? We know that he can do good. We trust in that, and you know what? We're behind him. That's how we got to do. We have to remember that we're behind Fabi. You know, sometimes the hardest thing to do, guys, is when everybody says that you can't do something, you can. It doesn't remember. It doesn't matter what they think. It only matters what you think, and that's what Fabi said because he was asked by Maurice Ashley about what other people think of his chance of actually winning, and he said this: I, whatever anybody else says doesn't bother me. I know that I'm going to do my best. Then he says, people believe 60-40. He says, you know what? It's 50-50. I either win or I lose. He says that's 50-50. And you know what? That was a great response. So remember when they say, let's say you're facing somebody that's maybe 100 or 200 points ahead of you, don't, and they say, man, you can't win. You say this, that's your opinion, and guess what? There's a 50-50 chance I'm either going to win or I'm going to lose. So 50-50. Remember that. Just wanted to have you guys hear that, okay? So let's continue onward. Sam played d4, d5, c5, c4, sorry. This is kind of, if you're wanting to go for an attack, this is more than likely the line you're going to be going down, c4. If you want to do the Queen's Gambit decline, you go e6. And then if he plays knight there, you can play knight here. If he plays bishop here, hey. Oh, that's okay. Oh, you know what? Remember that it's all about learning. So if you took one second, if you took away something from that, then you learned something. That's the whole thing. You can learn something, like my teacher said, from anything almost. And kind of this is the line I play. Hey, you know what? Oh, that's okay. Time. I think it was. Yazur said that time pressure, if you were in time pressure, has makes even the most strongest grandmaster have sitches. Oh, well, then then we, you know what? Then, as they say, we can work on, if you lose a piece. My teacher told me that he didn't know how I can see. Sometimes I lose pieces, but he doesn't know how that I can play a piece down as if I haven't lost a piece, because you know what, you can't focus on the material. You have to remember that the best thing to do is to stay calm. Remember how We talked stop, breathe, and then refocus down. That's the hardest thing to do when you're a piece down. You start getting like, I have to do this, I have to do that, and it ends up not doing to the best of your ability. And that I've had that before, so I know what you're talking about. And yes, this was actually, which was kind of odd in this game, Fox, was that Fabi played the Queen's Gambit accepted. They usually play the Queen's Gambit declined, and for the level that Fabi's at, and later on he plays like this G5 line, which hasn't actually been played before, and so they asked him why he played it. Was he trying to play something that Magnus couldn't follow? Like if he was to face Magnus, that Magnus couldn't analyze his game and find maybe a weakness or something that he wouldn't be able to play, or something similar to that. I really don't remember all the wordage, but it was something similar to that. And they said he says no. He says I just wanted to try a subtle nuance that I did some research on. So, and ended in a draw. So, and it was really an interesting game. He got into it was almost the same position that he had yesterday, the same one. I was like, whoa! And he was able to turn it into a draw, which is impressive, I think. So F3. F6. Sometimes, rather than this, there's actually this line is more of an aggressive line. That if you play there, and then you actually could play here, and usually, if you want like a counter line, a lot of people will attack the queen. And if the knight comes in, then they play e5, something similar to this. And then if you take here, you can actually take, and then if knight takes, bishop takes, pawn takes, and then you could actually retreat your knight back. But you do have one sitch in that line. You do lose a pawn, but you get to fracture your opponent's. But actually you don't. You actually win, and so he has to retreat back. I'm sorry, I was wrong. This is kind of the line that I did a little research on. It's an interesting line that Black's slightly he's actually slightly better. And then if you played there, he takes. Now you're threatening here, so he has to play his knight there, and then you castle queenside, and you're starting your attack. He can't castle queenside now, and that was his whole. He's kind of like stuck in the center, and you also have after castles, if you can remove this knight, maybe potentially like something. I'm trying to remember what line I looked at. Well, I got to this part, so I forgot the other line that it goes down. E3, E6, because now the bishop's going to come, and then bishop takes C4, C5. And Fabi's playing for a win here. This is like an aggressive attack. So Sam castles, A6. So that, excuse me, he can go B5, and if the bishop comes back, Fabi's got C4, and then he'd have a majority. So A4 was played. This is to cement Sam's bishop, because otherwise, if he plays something like this, Fabi's got that, and then potentially you have something like this, and you have this whole wall of pawns that are just a pain for you. You potentially could eat the pawn like that, but I don't know. Do I think that a4? I think it's actually needed. That's just my opinion. Because of what we showed is that b5 would be the next move for Fabi. This move does provoke a weakness on b3. I see what you're saying. Is a4 a necessity? Well, if you want to keep your bishop on c4, it is a necessity. Knight c6. Come on. Don't tell me. Is everything locking up again? No, come on. Don't lock up on me. No, no, no. I'm going to reconnect. Please don't have an issue. Okay, reconnected. Thank you. Okay, I'm worried about a4. Black goes knight c6. Then knight b4. And then c5. I think what Shanklin's idea was either to play something like this, maybe try to get in there, b4 on the queen side, knight b4. I don't know. Yeah, because it's and c5 pawn push, c5 pawn push. Oh, true. The right side, this side here, the king side. Are you talking about the king side or the queen side? Is it this side or which side? Because my right would actually be on the queen side. Oh, I got you right there. I see what you're saying. I see. Queen side, gotcha. I was looking on the left side. Okay, true. I see. Yeah. But still, that's still covered right here. Yeah. Well, remember, every move, every move has a drawback to it. It has a benefit and a drawback. The benefit to a4 is that it holds b5, which then holds your bishop on c4. But like what you're saying, it gives away b4 forever. Knight b4 is able to be implanted there for a piece can just stay here for indefinitely. So it's like, Fabi takes, and this move here was controversial. They didn't like that. They did not like. It was kind of really big time debated. Like, this move, they said, hadn't been seen before. There wasn't a game that played it. Because the problem is this bishop to g5 is a sitch. But say Fabi wanted to play bishop g7 and then castles. What they were talking about is that Fabi could have played a7, knight c3, and then castles. This would have been more principal play, but Fabi kind of went out of book with Shanklin with g6, And he actually thought there for a while, and then decided to play knight c3, bishop g, and d5 to kind of undermine. d5 undermines the structure here, and takes, and then rook e1, and bishop e6. Yeah, it is aggressive, but it was like they didn't understand why he played that when he could have played bishop e7, something like that. It would have avoided the rook coming to this diagonal, putting a bishop there. It would have kind of maybe solidified more of a solid structure for Fabi. But like what you're saying, Fabi wanted to go for more of an aggressive. He wanted to try his best to take Shankland out. Like a 1-2 uppercut punch. So placing your bishop on this diagonal here is really important. The h8 to a1 diagonal is huge. Pawn takes, castles. Bishop takes, pawn takes. And they were saying, wow, could he actually, Shankland actually supposedly wins a pawn here with queen to e2. So queen d5. I don't know. Maybe putting the rook like that was a better idea. I think, but then they said that then you have a knight there, and so it's like, And they were talking about queen a5, which I believe is somewhat what the idea was, but that's what they're talking about, the commentators. So, but Fabi went d5, rook d1. They were shocked that Sam didn't takes, but they also talked about that this actually opened up an attack more on Sam. So by Fabi kind of gambiting a pawn away, he opened up the F file for an attack. And he doesn't have to worry about a bishop check because the queen's gone and he has a knight. He's more developed, and like what you're saying now, we're going to start to feel the weakness of b4. Remember, you were talking about, was a4 a bad move? Now it is. In this scenario, it's a horrible move, and white would feel the pain of that through the entire game. This right here, because then he has the ability of outposting there. The bishop also, the dark square bishop, can't leave the this right here because this bishop could actually win. So white would have to play there, and then you drop right on in, like what we were talking about, b4, and you're in a bad sitch now. It's not a happy moment, let's just say, because now you're threatening to play knight d3, and knight d3 forks the bishop and the rook and the pawn. So you're gonna get your material back with aggression like there's no tomorrow. You're gonna be with super attack on that. So that's why Shankland played d1. He didn't want to see this happen with the rooks and the trades and the knight going there and the rook having to come here, then that type of an attack here and there, and just more and more pain. So he didn't want that to happen. So I played rook d1, knight f5, and so g5 was played to cement this. Try now. Shankland is trying to get it with a knight. Knight c6 is played. and he takes with the bit queen. They were asking why didn't he take with that, and they talked about that it was this pin here that was killer. And so he can't take with a knight because of that devastation of a pin. So he had to take with the queen. By doing that, this actually helped solidify Fabi's maneuver. Rather than taking and allowing this fork to happen, why not e5 after that? Hold on. I think he was concerned with this, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it was something like that. He would have the attackers. Or potentially maybe, but you do have that at that point, so I'm not sure. I'm thinking maybe more rook d5 is probably the idea. And in that point, you can actually just develop. And I think trying to say, yeah, I have no idea really. I don't know why that wasn't played. I'm not sure. I think he didn't want to block this, but it does solidify. I don't know. Maybe it's something to do with that. Maybe that's kind of why he didn't want to play it g4. I'm trying to think. And then the queen would have to basically go all the way back. And then probably rook now. But like what you're saying, then you got knight. And so I don't know. I don't know. I think it's playable. You know. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's what he said. Sometimes you get caught trying to hold a pawn when it's kind of just sometimes you just have to gambit it, and you know in this scenario sometimes you gotta do that. And Fabi wants that to happen, and Sam actually obliged his attack, and it was kind of like, whoa, what you doing, boy? You know, I mean, you just helped me out. I'm like, I'm in supercharge mode now. What's the sitch? You know, I have a pawn right here. Your bishop's tied down. Your rook has to move. When it does, I have doubling capabilities. It's like, what have you accomplished? Or potentially even, if you try something like that, you have this. And if he tries that, you have something like that. You have something there. We even could just double up and say, show me what you got. And he's going to have to basically play that, kind of to stop this R. Worst would have to be there, and then now you can actually set up for an attack here. When the king moves, you take the bishop, takes, and then yeah, you could play here, but then you play your bishop back. Actually, wait a second, my bad. I can't believe it, I missed that. That's I missed that he can't play there because that hangs. snap. So Fabi actually, we'll just keep it. Just I don't want to mess with this just in case it deletes too much. So he has to move back there. Basically, Shakelin has to, and then the bishop, and now. This knight is in a pickle. It's almost trapped. Every point that it goes to is close. It has really only one point to go to. Right there. And so he's trying to save his knight. The knight has to retreat there. And then now, if this bishop trades off, that a knight will be gone. Let's see. I wonder if that's not best. Okay, okay. And Shakelin plays f3, and I was puzzled with that move. I was actually yeah, that's true. This actually has really, I gotta say, nothing really to do with the position. I have no idea why he did that. That allowed for that. And that just puzzled me to no end. Because I'm like, all you'd have to do is move here. Rather than this. Now you have a weak point, and the knight can now jump in right there. E3 is a weak spot now. And that's a spot you never want to leave open for your opponent's piece to drop onto. So, yeah. Well, if you think about it, he potentially can win the pawn. It's just going to be a little more of a little intense jump. So if he played here, if that's played, then you gotta say goodbye to 2 rooks. Yeah. Exactly, 100%. Yeah. Yeah, you see that the problem with that is that. So that's what was interesting again. He didn't want this to happen here. So you kind of you kind of have to seal up a little bit. This also allows his king to be able to do that. And so that's the whole thing. Is this holds the 7th rank for the king potentially to come out. King f1 also cuts that off too, so that he potentially could go e1, rook e1, and that's what was played. Takes, takes, and I'm not sure if that he has to play, I guess, there to hold it with the knight. Yeah, that'd be 2 pawns, so you really can't do that. Pretty sneaky of a move there. And if he takes here, takes. It's 4 moves to get there, so it's gonna be a pretty big trek. So it's not beneficial, and I think that actually white king is closer, so this would actually lose. Yeah. So that is pretty interesting. So if he played up here, takes there, takes there, takes there, takes there, takes there, it would end up a draw. Okay, 2. Yeah. And they were like, "Whoa, what's Fabi doing here? What's he doing? He's hanging a pawn. He's hanging a pawn." They're like, "What's going on?" And then this is what they said here. Yeah, but look. And then they looked and they're like, "Oh, perpetual." And it's a perpetual type of play. Because I believe, let me see, how does that perpetual happen? I think it's something like this. And then takes, takes. And I believe the pawns would actually come off the board. Now, it'd be something like that. And if there's a check, the king comes up. And that's hanging, so the knight king would have to come there, and then that takes. And it's a draw. Fabi could easily have drawn this, so that's kind of why he moved his king up rather than that. And potentially there would have been a threat of checkmate as well. So you never know. There goes pawn. Goes a second pawn. King takes. Yeah, back here. Sorry. Right here, oops, sorry, what was that? Okay, he took here, that's right. H5, and I'm trying to think where the perpetual was. Because I know you're right about that. If that's played, then you play there. It's something like this. Yeah, that was an interesting game. How ended with a draw, and they have both agreed, and there's nothing more that could be done. That basically what that was what would have been played, and they Fabi could have easily held that, and potentially even won. So Sam just decided, you know what, it's better to go with a draw than lose the game. So that's what he did. And so we'll get on to some of our puzzles now. Let's see here. But he was down like 2 pawns the same way he would have been in that prior game, and he was able to draw it. So that was a cool. Fabi did it. Wow. Yeah, his next idea is to play there, right here. Rook h4, so yeah. Trying to see if we what the consequences of taking would be. If we took here, this is really a puzzle for sure. Huh. Thinking about taking here, and then after queen takes, then knight takes, bishop, and then queen takes. Let's see, knight takes, rook. I mean, bishop takes rook, sorry, on f4. Queen takes rook on f4. Knight takes at that part. If pawn takes, bishop takes, queen there, and we're in a pickle. Huh. Wow. No, I think he can come back and actually intercept at that point. Let's see here. Let's see if we have pawn takes, pawn, queen takes, rook takes, check. Oh wait. So pawn takes, queen takes, rook takes, rook takes, rook takes, and he can't take there because we win. So takes, the queen moves, takes. Yeah, pawn takes actually wins. So mainly I believe that, let me see, he's going to take here. We're going to take there. He's going to take here. Huh, pawn takes. I believe that's the combo. What do you think? Yep, there we go. Wasn't that great? We got it. We did it, guys. Great job. Oh, one more? Hold on. Yeah, because if we played e takes f3, and if this is taken here, we have, oh, we check. What if we take here first? So it's mate 9 in this scenario. Wow. That was killer right there, man. That was cool. Really nifty, for sure. Hey, how you doing? Oh, wait a second. That's mate, though. Huh. I see what you're saying, yeah. Yep, you got it. Oh, really? How come I don't I don't I don't understand why you would do that. That's yeah, I'm just like I don't understand why he would just why Oh, I got it, because we'd be equal material at that point. Okay, that's my fault there. Okay. Okay, bishop takes. Sorry, here. Okay, knight takes. Queen takes. Rook takes. Yeah, that was my fault there. Okay, I learned something there. Okay. I didn't count the pieces. That was my fault. I thought we were up material, but we were actually down a piece, so I didn't count the material. Okay, knight takes pawn. Knight takes knight. Yeah, I was thinking about that, but then he's got, if we take there, he's got king, h1. That, bishop takes is actually most forcing. I think bishop takes is most forcing. And actually, if you do knight takes, he's in check. But this right here is one of the forcing lines. But the problem is he can actually play there. Now that I think about it, it doesn't work. Huh. Actually, it might actually work. Let me see. He can't play. He can't play C because of check. Yeah, right there. And if he plays there, I was thinking here, there, there. King takes. Then we have check. So I'm not sure. Let me see. If we play here, he just moves. I don't think we accomplish anything. See this, and now we're threatening here. So let's say we played here, he took there. We'd actually take here. I don't think it works now that I think about it. No, that doesn't work. Yeah, it doesn't work because this rook can take our bishop. Let's see here. Oh, I'm wrong. This is actually a, I believe it's a potential for, is it a force? No, it's not a force. Is it a force, mate? No. Yeah, I think you're right, yeah. Yeah, we'll go through that line. There you go. That's the line. Oh, yeah. Well, you never, every once in a while, you get the pleasure of being able to do that. Hmm. Remember, you have to take the um the bishop first, though. You see, if you take, queen takes. Well, I guess that doesn't work. Oh, wait a second. Yeah, you're right. That works. My bad. And then you take there, right? And then you, okay, check. King moves. Bishop takes. Queen takes. Then you take the. Okay, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. I thought that was actually the better line. Your line, the line did was, yeah. I looked at that. That was a good line. That's okay. Hey, you know what? We got to remember. What does the computer want? That's what we have to. I have to constantly remember that. What does the computer want? Yeah. Hmm. Okay. If we check, king comes up, check, king comes up, check, king intercepts, rook check, king comes back, rook takes, check, king comes, we'll say back there, then we snap off everything. So here, oh, stop that. Here, 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 there. If it comes there, we take. He has to go back. And then we take there. And it's a discovery. And if he comes like back there, then we take that. So he's going to have to give up. He has to give up his... even if he comes here, he's basically going to come up there. Then we'll play bishop here, and he'll have to give up his rook to save the position. And then we can actually check at that point. I guess that might work. Yeah. Yeah, right there. Let's see here. Rook c3 has to be. Tells you pins are truly devastating. That's okay. Not to worry. Let's see here. Let's see if we take here, bishop takes. And we can actually play rook, I believe a rook. Pin. Does that win? Or we could actually play rook right away. But I don't really like having that in our side pocket right now, though. So if we played bishop, bishop, bishop takes, takes, huh? Okay, rook d. I believe you're right on that because actually, if we played here, his best would be that. And then we'd play here. Huh. Interesting. looks the best. Nice. That was a good one. Let's see. What line do you want to go over? Are you talking about the bishop line? You're restarting your internet? Okay. Do one more, then I gotta log. Okay. Oh boy. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, I was looking at that too, but let's see if we played knight takes bishop. The threat is this. Oh, excuse me. One sec, I'll be right back. Don't forget that about here, sorry, here, here, there. Sorry, here, here. Huh, interesting. I'm kind of liking that now best. Well, if queen takes, then we take with the knight. So I kind of like that. Well, let's see here. I think it is crushing. There we go. We'll yeah. Let's go over the that line here, and if he plays back here, you dash a take with the knight, and so it's over at that point. So he has to play back. Yeah. And if c7, oops, he can't go c7 because the knight covers that. So that's why it's so crushing. It's like, oh, let's take a look though at each one and see why this one is wrong. Let's take a look to see why this is wrong. Okay, rook takes, rook takes, rook takes, and it's a draw. So it's a draw. Let's see what happens if we play pawn push. They're actually winning at that point. Wow. Oh, you want to check what happens when knight takes? Okay. It's a draw. It's going to end up a draw. Yeah, it's actually a draw at that point. So the only line that wins is is um, is the rook line. Well, thank you guys for all logging on and helping out. We're doing better. We're getting there. Well, we're gonna start improving. So don't worry. And do you have any more before I log off? Do you have any more ideas that for this lines that you want to look at for this tactic here? Foss, do you have any more ideas? Or are you good? Because I know we talked about. Okay. Then I got a log. Thank you. And remember, tomorrow, I believe they're still doing the tournament. I don't think it's a rest day tomorrow. I think it's the next day. But you know what? We're gonna see how our Fabi guy does. So we gotta pray for him, and you know what? We have to be the ones to believe that he can do it. If others don't, we do. So guys, remember to always keep studying chess. Never give up. You know what? Learn from your mistakes. That's the whole thing. It's not a mistake. It's not a loss if you learn. Keep moving forward. Keep moving forward. That's the whole thing. There's always a plan in the position. You just have to find it. And then we get to say this from Colonel Hannibal Smith. I love it when a plan comes together. Well, guys, as Wesley So says, serve the Lord Jesus. And as I say, God bless, guys. And I'll see you tomorrow on Chess Cruncher TV. Have a great rest of the night, morning, or evening. And I will be back tomorrow. So be blessed. And I hope you guys watch U.S. Chess Championship. It's going to be cool. Okay, bye-bye, guys.